But getting back to this game that I never left. What you got to say, darling? How you doing today, Miss Johnson?
Good morning. Good morning, everyone. You had me almost singing Marvin Sapp. So glad I made it through. 'Cause I was trying to call several times. I was trying to call several times. You know how much I respect and I love this channel and I love the information that you present. I tell you the truth as a proud square. It is so applicable to corporate America and the corporate grind. I just say that. And I like what you shared about what a woman wants from a man, because I really think that you should really do a live on that to give people an understanding of what women actually need from a man. It's not just a physical connection. They need a mental connection. And it was so funny when you said that about, why not get the information from a pimp? That is absolutely the truth, because they do have the greatest control. And it's actually fascinating to see, like, okay, well, how is he trying to control her? But one thing I did have a question about, just listening to not only yours, but, just growing up in a certain environment, I was always curious to understand why women are referred to as bitches. It's more like a term of endearment. I hear it being addressed, when you guys are referring to different women. And to me, it's like I can listen to something, and as soon as I hear that, it's like my ears start burning, as if like, okay, you lost me. And I guess my philosophy is you can catch more with honey than vinegar. Mm-hmm. And I just don't understand why that has to be the term. Now, it's weird because I hear women refer to each other, as that's my bitch, or that's, like in a term of endearment. But when I hear it from a man to a woman, it just comes off to me as very derogatory. So maybe you can talk to that a little bit. That's my question.
Well, I've actually seen those same interviews that you've seen where guys said it's it's a sense of endearment and all that shit. But for me, okay, watch this. People know that I'm not a Christian. I'm not in Christianity. I'm not a Baptist. I'm not any of that. But I study religiosity because of the people that are involved in those denominations. So when I have conversations with them, I know how to communicate with them because I know their language, okay? And they can listen to me because I know their language. It's the same way when a woman or a man, and that's why I love Harold Washington so much, because Harold Washington was able to communicate with all men of all walks of life, okay? All women of every walk of life. So if I'm dealing with a woman from the ghetto, if I'm dealing with a woman who is hard, she's conforming to a certain behavior, there's certain terms, not just with her, just like we as blacks, we know that we shouldn't use the word nigga. We know what's behind that. We know that, the enemy used that word, but that is a word that we have also utilized to communicate with each other. And the youth today, even though they might even know the truth behind that word, they still utilize it because that's the urban vernacular that we speak in the ghetto. So, when I say something to a woman who come from a prestigious environment and stuff like that, the way that I would talk to a woman from the Valley, or Apple Valley, in Minnesota, that's completely different from when I would talk to a woman, that's from the Hunnits, you know what I mean? Or she might come from the projects in the city of Chicago, the Ickies. You know what I mean? She might come from the Robert Taylors back in the day or something like that. There's a certain language that I'm going to speak in with her to communicate with her because I have mastered how to communicate with people from all walks of life. So, somebody that doesn't know what I'm doing, they might be on the side and they might say, "Sin being disrespectful." And honestly, I could really care less what they think because right now I'm not even endeavoring to reach that audience. But the audience that I'm endeavoring to reach, sometimes I have to speak in the level, I got to speak in the language of ignorance to be able to convey some intelligence. The catching come before the hanging. So if I come up to a hood nigga, that's just like if I was living for God, if I was a man of God. I don't have to use profanity, but I still know how to use certain slang. I'm still going to say, you know what I'm saying? Or you dig. You know what I mean? What's going on, man? You know, now I know these words, this is not proper English. But when I go back to the hood, when I go back to where I come from, I know how to communicate with those that's at where I was. Just like I know how to communicate with people who are elite in society. So it's all just knowing how to communicate. And I hope certain spiritual people get what I'm saying, because some of y'all, the reason why, you got 24 members in your church and your church been in existence for 24 years, you still in that same storefront, you don't know how to talk to the youth. The truth is you don't know how to talk to the youth. You don't know how to reach people. I might say to one woman, I might sit up there and say, I'm very attentive to your attractive appearance. You know what I'm saying? I was just mesmerized, by the beauty of God. Every picture that I seen was a manifestation, from the heart of God, woman. Oh my God, stop it. No, I'm being so serious, man. You know what I mean? I can go on and on for days, you know what I mean? It is so many beautiful and amazing things that God has created, baby, and you definitely is one of them, and that's the irrefutable truth. I might speak to one woman like that, and then another woman, I might sit up there and I might tell her, I might sit up there and it's like, look, man, I ain't got no time to even play with you. Usually I sit up there and come up with some cold speeches and everything like that, but you wrong for having an ass like this. This is just wrong. You know what I'm saying? It's like you like, I know it's certain days that's just big booty day, but with you, every day is big booty day. Every day is just big ass day. Every day is big titties day. Every day is sister thickness day. You know what I'm saying? And that's the first thing. I ain't trying to be disrespectful to you, but when I saw you, I was like, I gotta have her. There are innumerable accomplishments that I want in my obituary, and one of them is that I had your fine thick ass. I just gotta have you. And she might be laughing, and she might be smiling, and if she sit up there and keep talking I might not even be her preference. But if she keep listening to me, and if I catch her smiling and laughing too long, I'm gonna have a motherfucking ass. Because I can't be played with. So it's just knowing how to communicate. Me, when I say the word, I'm not saying it in a derogatory. That's just like if a man is inside of a woman. You know what I mean? When you come from, with certain women, you might be like, if you're a religious man and you're dealing with a religious woman, or you might not be a religious man, you might be a spiritual man, but you're with a religious woman and you want to blow that woman's mind, you might sit up there while you're inside of that woman, you might sit up there and speak in another language. And she like, boy, what the f you just say? And then you translate it in English. Then you might sit up there, if you really want to, especially if she one of them real religious girls, you might sit up there and quote the scripture and might say, he that findeth a wife findeth a good thing. And her mind is just completely f***ed up. You know what I'm saying? Or while you inside another woman that come from the hood of the ghetto, you might be like, God gave you this. This shit right here. She just sitting over there just taking it and things like that. Everybody is different, and you have to know how to preside over each woman, each personality, because those personalities come from different communities. So you got to be able to socialize with everybody, especially if you're going to be doing what I'm doing. I hope you guys live as long as you want and never want as long as you live, man. Y'all be blessed now.